Don't mind my wife. She keeps refusing the doctors. She wants a C-section instead of delivering naturally.
I told you, my son, these city women are not strong. They cannot handle real pain, not like our women.
It started in a hospital room. I was in unbearable pain, fighting to bring my child into the world. My husband, Kennedy, stood by the window. Not by me. Not holding my hand. He was on his phone, talking to his mother. "Mama," he said softly, "the doctor says Cynthia cannot give birth naturally. The baby is too big. They recommend surgery." I waited for one thing. For him to say, "Pray for her." But instead I heard her voice, shouting, certain, controlling. "Kennedy, I told you, city girls are not real women. They are soft. They cannot handle real pain. If she cannot push that baby out, she is a curse to this family. No surgery. In our culture, it is a taboo." Kennedy didn't argue. He only said, "Yes, Mama?" And I lay there crying, realizing the man I loved had already stopped choosing me. But to understand why I stayed, you must know where I came from. I wasn't always a city girl. I was born in a village where hunger was normal and dinner was never guaranteed. My father was a poor farmer. My mother worked until her hands bled. I was the eldest daughter. I watched her cry every time school fees were due. Then, when I was 9 years old, my life changed. My uncle's wife, Auntie Rose, came from the city. She was moving to the UK. "I need a child to help in my home," she said. "If Cynthia comes with me, I will educate her. I will treat her like my own." My mother held me tightly that day. "Go," she whispered. "Don't look back. This is your escape from hunger." I left the village with one small bag and a heart full of fear. I was 9 years old, and I was going to a world I had only seen in magazines. But Auntie Rose kept her promise. She was strict, but she educated me. I cleaned, I worked, I studied, and I grew. I learned English. I learned discipline. I learned survival. By 18, I was excelling in school and working part-time. By 23, I graduated and secured a good job in an office. I had made it, but inside, I was still that little girl who just wanted love. That was when I met Kennedy. Kennedy was everything people called successful, confident, handsome, wealthy. He moved fast. Within just 3 months he was already talking about marriage. "I've never met anyone like you," he said softly. "You're different. I love you with all my heart. You mean everything to me, and I can't imagine my future without you in it. Will you marry me and make me the happiest man alive?" But there was one problem. His mother. The first time Kennedy told his mother about me, he said, "Mama, I've met a woman in the city. I want to marry her." But his mother became angry immediately. "No," she said sharply. "I already have a girl from our village I want you to marry. Not some city woman. Village women are respectful, strong, and obedient." But Kennedy refused. "No, Mama," he said. "I love Cynthia. I want to marry her." That was the beginning of the war between me and his mother. She controlled everything. Every night at 7 p.m. he had to call her. If he missed it, she called him nonstop. He told her everything, our money, our meals, even our arguments. It felt like I was never alone with my husband. There were always 3 people in the marriage. Me, Kennedy, and his mother's voice. "When she calls," Kennedy said, "just ignore it. She is old. Let her be." But letting her be slowly became letting her destroy us. We married in London. She refused to attend. "I'm too sick," she said. But I knew the truth. She never accepted me. The first year was a silent fire. On the outside, everything looked perfect. Nice apartment. Good life. Money. But inside, it was burning. Kennedy would buy me gifts. Then his mother would call. "Why are you wasting money on her? Send it home." And he would send it. Then I got pregnant. I thought this would finally change everything. I thought a child would make her accept me. But instead, the doctors delivered bad news. As my belly grew, fear grew with it. A 5.5 kilograms baby made every movement painful. I walked like I was carrying stones. My back ached, my feet swelled, and sleep disappeared. But the real pain was Kennedy. Each hospital visit ended the same way. "Cynthia, the baby is still growing. You need a C-section," the doctor said. Kennedy's response was always cold. He would call his mother immediately. "Mama, she's complaining again. They want surgery." And her voice would explode through the phone. "Do not let them cut her. Those doctors only want money. A woman who is cut is broken. In our family, women push through pain. If she cannot deliver naturally, she is not your wife." Kennedy turned to me after every call. "Stop being weak. You are making yourself sick." So I starved myself, trying to stop the baby from growing. And every night I cried alone. One day, Kennedy's friend rushed into the hospital and spoke to him seriously. "I never said you shouldn't respect or obey your mother," he told Kennedy. "But this is different. This is about your wife's life and your baby's life. You need to listen to the doctors and save them both." He continued, "Those old traditions belong to another time. Back then, people called it taboo for a woman to go through certain medical procedures. But this is a new generation. Your wife is still alive and the baby is still alive too. There is nothing wrong with letting the doctors help them. Please sign the papers and pay for the treatment so everything will be safe." But Kennedy refused. The pain started small, then turned into a storm. Kennedy drove me to the hospital, silent and irritated like I was a burden. For 12 hours I fought. I screamed. I pushed. I broke down. The doctor checked the monitor repeatedly. "The baby's heart rate is dropping. We need surgery now. If we wait, we may lose both mother and child." I reached for Kennedy. "Please, save our baby." He stepped back. "I cannot sign. My mother said it is a taboo. She said you are cursed if you need surgery." Then he looked at me and asked, "What did you do, Cynthia?" That question shattered me more than the pain. Everything went dark. Then I heard a voice. "Move. That is my daughter." My mother had arrived from the village. She rushed into the room and saw me barely alive. She turned to Kennedy, shaking with anger. "Your wife is dying. Your child is dying. And you are talking about a taboo?" She faced the doctor. "Save her. I give permission." Then she grabbed the pen. "I brought her into this world. I will not lose her here. I accept full responsibility." Kennedy said nothing. He just stood there, silent. They rushed me into surgery. Everything was bright, cold, and distant. I bled heavily. Doctors moved fast. Machines beeped nonstop. Hours later, I woke up weak in a recovery room. My mother held my hand, crying. "Where is my baby?" "He is safe. A strong boy," she whispered. Then her voice dropped. "But you lost too much blood. You need 5 bags immediately." My body was failing. They needed a donor. The doctor went to find Kennedy. The doctor found him outside. "Your wife needs blood. You are a match. Please come save her." Kennedy didn't move. I warned her not to do surgery. She chose this. Then he added, "My mother says this is rejection by the earth. I will not interfere with destiny." The doctor froze. "You are refusing to save your wife?" Kennedy nodded. "If she survives, it is God's will. If she dies, it is also God's will." The doctor told my mother. She didn't cry. She removed her earrings, the only valuable thing she owned. She ran outside and begged strangers for help. "My daughter is dying. Please help me." Students, passers-by, people who didn't even know my name. They came. And they donated blood. Strangers saved my life. While my husband sat elsewhere, calling me damaged goods. When the first bag of blood entered my body, warmth slowly returned. Life came back into me drop by drop. I stared at the ceiling and thanked God, not because the pain was gone, but because I was alive to see my son. The nurses brought him in. He was heavy, wrapped in a white blanket, skin soft like silk. When he was placed on my chest, everything else disappeared. Kennedy, his mother, the pain, the betrayal. Only my child mattered. "I will call him Samuel," I whispered, because God heard my cry. My mother held my hand in silence, protecting my peace for just a little longer. Morning came. Sunlight filled the hospital room. I kept watching the door, expecting Kennedy to walk in. He never came. The doctor entered for a checkup, his face heavy with pity. "Where is your husband?" I forced a smile. "He's busy work." But even as I said it, I knew I was lying. My mother said nothing. She already knew the truth. On the 3rd day, the hospital brought the bill. I called Kennedy. No answer. I called again. He rejected the call. Then I texted. "We are being discharged. We need payment for blood and treatment." 5 minutes later, he replied, "I will not pay for a taboo. Ask your mother. She signed for it." I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. My mother broke down in tears and quickly called Auntie Rose, begging for help to pay Cynthia's hospital bills. "The doctors need money immediately," she cried. "Please help us save Cynthia and the baby." When Auntie Rose heard what was happening, she became furious. "Why is Kennedy behaving like this?" she shouted. "Before he married Cynthia, he promised us he would take care of her no matter what happened." Without wasting any time, Auntie Rose and her husband immediately transferred the money directly to the hospital's account. Cynthia's mother burst into tears of joy, crying and jumping with excitement. "Take the money," she shouted happily. "My daughter is going home alive." The ride home was painful. Every bump in the road tore through my stitches. My mother held baby Samuel tightly in the back seat. I kept whispering to myself, "He will change. You will see his son. He will come back to us." I built a picture in my mind. Kennedy opening the door, crying, holding our child, asking for forgiveness. I held on to that dream like it was the only thing keeping me alive. The taxi stopped. The gate of our home was wide open. That was the first warning. Then I saw it. Clothes scattered across the pavement. My dresses. My shoes. Baby items. Suitcases torn open, papers flying in the wind. Everything I owned, thrown outside like garbage. The driver turned to me shaken. "Madam, is this your house?" I couldn't answer. I stepped out, collapsing onto the ground. Pain shot through my stitches as I crawled toward my things. Then I looked up. Kennedy stood on the balcony. Behind him, his mother. She had come while I was in the hospital. And I realized, this was not just rejection. This was the final plan. The ground felt like it was collapsing beneath me. My mother stepped out of the taxi. She didn't argue. She didn't look up. She went straight to my scattered clothes and began packing them calmly. "Stop looking at them," she said quietly. "A man who watches his wife suffer like this is not a man. And that woman is not a mother. She is darkness." I cried. "But this is my home. I built this life." She held my arm firmly. "If you stay, they will destroy you. We are leaving." The driver came over, saw everything, and helped load my bags without charging a cent. "God sees everything," he said softly. My mother took me to a small rented room. Dark. Empty. Nothing like my home. I sat on the bed holding Samuel, feeling like everything I built had collapsed. That night I called Kennedy. No answer. I called again and again. On the final attempt, his mother picked up. "Listen carefully," she said coldly. "Stop calling this number. My son has a real wife now. A woman who knows her place." Then she ended the call. Weeks passed. I healed alone while caring for my newborn. My mother had to return to the village. Every time I looked at my scar, I felt broken. To them it was shame. To me it was survival. But Samuel changed everything. He didn't see failure. He only saw his mother. For the first time, silence felt better than control. No insults. No fear. No judgment. Just peace and my son. I could finally breathe. I blocked Kennedy's mother. But I left Kennedy unblocked, hoping he would come back as a father. One afternoon in the park, my phone buzzed. A message. A photo. Kennedy standing with another woman in our old home. Caption. "The family is complete. A real wife for a real man." Sent by his mother. She wanted to break me. But something changed inside me. No tears. Just silence. I looked at Samuel. "They think they replaced us," I whispered. "But they freed us." I deleted the message. Deleted the number. And walked forward, with my son, and my head held high. After seeing Kennedy with his new wife, something inside me shifted. The pain didn't disappear. It transformed. It became fuel. I finally understood. The man I loved was gone long before that day. The real Kennedy was the one who watched me in the dirt and walked away. My scars healed, leaving a thin line on my stomach. I called it my victory mark. But the hardest healing was in my mind. I had to become both mother and father. When Samuel was 4 months old, I returned to work. I woke at 4 a.m., fed him, prepared him, left him with a neighbor, then took 2 buses to work. I was exhausted. But for the first time, I earned my own money no one could control. That made me feel free. 2 years passed. Samuel grew into a bright, joyful toddler. We lived in a small apartment filled with peace instead of fear. Then I got a call from a friend near Kennedy's family. Her voice was low. "Cynthia, the new wife is pregnant." I paused. "I hope she is okay." "She isn't," she replied. "She went through 2 days of labor at home. The mother-in-law refused hospital care. Kennedy finally rushed her in, but it was almost too late. She needed emergency surgery." I went silent. The same taboo that destroyed me had destroyed them. The story didn't end there. The mother-in-law blamed the new wife, called her unclean and damaged, tried to push Kennedy to abandon her too. But this time things were different. The girl had no family support, no escape. She was trapped. Then my phone rang. "Kennedy." I let it ring. Then I answered. His voice was broken. "Cynthia, I made a mistake. My mother has made everything worse. I miss you. I miss Samuel. Can I see him? I looked at my son playing on the floor, and I felt nothing but calm. Do you remember the blood? I asked. The strangers who saved my life while you refused? He tried to speak. I was controlled. No, I cut in. You chose it. Silence. You chose your mother's words over your wife's life. I want to be a father, he begged. A father protects. You abandoned us. Samuel doesn't need you. He has love. He has peace. He has me. Then I added, take care of your new wife. Protect her better than you protected me. I hung up. No anger. No tears. Just freedom. I share this for every woman in pain. If you are reading this from a hospital bed, if someone has made you feel less because of a scar, listen carefully. You are not weak. That scar is not shame. It is survival. It is proof you chose life over death. A C-section does not reduce your worth. It saves it. Today I am not broken. I am not ashamed. I am a mother. A survivor. A city girl who rebuilt her life. And my son knows this. His mother is strong. If you are going through fire, keep going. Some people are meant to leave your story. And when they leave, you finally begin to live. Thank you so much for journeying through this tale with me. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this wisdom, and subscribe to join our growing family of storytellers. Your support truly means everything. I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the story resonated with you most? And let me know which part of the world you're watching from. I read every comment and they truly keep me going. See you in the next story. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.